All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, the hardship in Nigeria continues to worsen as prices of basic necessities continue to rise daily. Before the removal of fuel subsidy, when petrol sold for 195 naira per litre, over 130 million Nigerians were already living in multi-dimensional poverty. So imagine what these over 130 million Nigerians will be reduced to, with fuel now selling at over 600 naira. But this administration did not stop there. They had the nerves to float the naira, a move that increased the rate of inflation and worsened the livelihood of Nigerians. And just recently, the administration went ahead to increase the cost of clearing cargoes from the ports. And as I speak, a bag of rice in Nigeria sells for over 70,000 naira against a minimum wage of 33,000. School fees has hiked, electricity tariffs, everything, all manner of bills have increased. And just yesterday, the people of Niger State trooped out and blocked everywhere in heavy protest against the hardship in the country and the failure of the TINUBU government. And few hours ago, the people of Kano State also took to the streets and began protesting against the hardship, the poverty in the land, and the failure of the TINUBU government. Before I show you how they protested and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this update. Southwest students have come out to issue a 14-day ultimatum to TINUBU. They said, Oga, stand up and fix this economy in 14 days. If you don't do that, we are going to shut down this country in massive protest. From left, right, and center now, they are hitting this administration. Look at how the papers reported it. NANS gives TINUBU 14-day ultimatum to address economic hardship or face protests. The Southwest Zone of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has threatened to take to the streets in 14 days should TINUBU fail to mitigate the widespread hunger and economic hardship that continues to ravage the country under his administration. This was disclosed on Monday in a media briefing which held in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. The briefing was convened by the coordinator of the zone alongside the General Secretary, Alao John, and Sani Sulaiman Olamide to address the looming economic crisis occasioned by inflation, depreciation of the currency, and unaffordability of supplies important for basic survival. The association is hereby issuing a 14-day ultimatum for TINUBU to respond to our demands and implement concrete measures to tackle the cost of living crisis. Failure to do so will result in mass protest, the group said. NANS Southwest Zone D is going to mobilize students and citizens to take to the streets in large numbers. According to the students group, the economic downturn has put basic survival needs, including housing, food, and healthcare, out of reach for many average Nigerians. The impact of these economic pressures has been particularly severe on the average Nigerian, making it increasingly difficult to afford basic necessities such as food, shelter, and healthcare. Mr. Lau said in his delivery. The association asked Mr. TINUBU to immediately take concrete actions aimed at alleviating the living crisis. There is an urgent need for swift and decisive action to mitigate the impact of the cost of living crisis and restore hope and dignity to the millions of struggling Nigerians, Mr. Alao said. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet by Dr. Abdul Muiz says, those Emilokon judges that collaborated with Yakub Mabudu to bring us this far, are they still living in this country? Are they feeling what the citizens are feeling right now? Tears of sorrow will never cease from your homes. Amen. Yes, amen. And this tweet by Okaria says, where were NANS all this while when the election were rigged and when citizens were disenfranchised because they are not indigenous to a particular state? When all these killings and kidnappings were going on all over the country, you came late is like you are APC too. Oh, this tweet by Winder says, this revolution go too sweet. The booker where I go chop today, even the policeman wey chop 1,500 food no expect am. Na 800 naira him budget. Iya Koko shout give am say half Derika beans don turn 500. Make e pay sharp. I first burst laugh. This guy just narrated a story of how a policeman ate 1,500 naira food and he only budgeted to eat 800. So the hardship is going round. And this tweet by Ethnot says, no wonder Sheyi Tinubu wanted to plant his stooge as NAN's president. Yes. If you recall, Sheyi Tinubu wanted to put his man there as the president to prevent all this kind of talks. But people are still saying Nans are just saying this because they are looking for their own brown envelope. But the bottom line is wahala day for this administration. As long as this hardship continues, and I know it will because they have no answers, this administration will bribe and bribe and bribe protesters until the country will catch fire. Now, let us look at the ongoing protest in Kano State. See the video.
The protesters, who are mostly youths, were seen carrying various placards along Airport Road and also along Murtala Mohammed Way in Kano Metropolis and chanting, "We want subsidy on petrol back, open Nigerian borders, address the rising fall of the naira, people are dying of hunger, all due to high cost of food." They also claim they can no longer send their children to school due to financial constraint.
What our leaders are doing to us, the masses, is so unfair, and we have been pushed to the wall. Life is so difficult. Our children can no longer go to school due to hunger and our inability to pay their school fees. Prices of food items keep increasing on daily basis. Our borders are closed. We want it open.
We are really suffering in this country. A bag of local rice in the market is around 60,000 naira. We can no longer afford it. Our children are just sitting down at home. There is no money to pay for their school fees. This is not what we expect from the government. The youth vowed to mobilize more people on the street to show how unhappy they are over the rising cost of food items in the market as they can no longer afford it. They are asking President Bola Tinubu to urgently open Nigerian borders and also restore the payment of subsidy on petrol. The closure of Nigerian borders is one of the major things that plunged the country into serious hardship. Also, US dollar is not our official currency. The naira needs to be strengthened, and we want the government to continue the payment of subsidy on petrol. Since it was removed, prices of food and transportation have increased.
There is hunger, there is poverty in the land, and there is no money. Things are so expensive in the market. The prices of food items keep rising.
Just last week, scores of women, including widows, took to the streets of Kano to protest the increase in the price of flour in the state. The protesters, who sell local bread, also known as gurasa, while marching on the street with placards on Friday, lamented that the soaring price had crippled their source of livelihood. Ayo Adinaye, Arise News, Kano.
Now, we all know that the people of Kano are just warming up with this protest. This particular protest is just a warm-up. And don't forget that few days ago, Gurasa, that is Association of Bread Sellers in Kano, came out and protested against hardship and inflation. And today, we are seeing this. These guys are just warming up. The Southwest students have given 14 days ultimatum. We are getting somewhere because we are just in February. As the poverty continues, as the hardship continues to bite harder on Nigerians, a time will come during the course of this year that Nigerians will rise against this wicked administration. And in other news, another strike looms. This is a government of propaganda and lies. They lie to everybody, lie to civil servants, lie to lecturers, lie to all Nigerians. And look at how the papers reported it. Strike ASU begins nationwide consultation over delay on agreement implementation. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has started a nationwide consultation from its members on the next line of action following the failure of government to implement certain agreements. ASU President Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke made this known at the Federal University of Technology, Minna, Niger State, at the start of the consultation. The ASU president said the federal government has not implemented all the agreements it reached with the organized labor, particularly ASU, since the inauguration of the administration of TINUBU in May 2023. Oshodeke said the nationwide consultation with members of different branches is for the union to take a decision on the next line of action later in the month of February. Before you know now, ASU will go on strike. Everywhere is shutting down, economy, everything. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet by OZ says, "Now wow, so they haven't settled ASU since then. I'm telling you, my sister." And this tweet by Buchi says, "Dear ASU, I beg you people in the name of God, allow me to graduate. Just 6 weeks to go. I have witnessed 3 strikes since I entered school." That is the plight of the Nigerian student. We have a government, just like Obi said. He said we have a ruling class that does not care about the citizens. And this tweet here says, strike is inevitable very soon, and rightly so. And this tweet here says, all the money spent on travels and chilling in France is enough to avoid this strike, but TINUBU does not care. That is it. You are spending 6 billion naira. You are budgeting 6 billion naira to build car park for National Assembly members. How much is ASU asking for? But according to Peter Obi, this is what you get when you have a ruling class that doesn't care about its citizens. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here. So don't go away. Don't